Hello everyone, and welcome to our Christmas special edition of the Under the Halo podcast. It's well and truly special today. This is very different for us. We do have our regular panellists in Mark, Kevin and Jeff. But we also have Warwick, Dave and Hugh.
Hey.
Amazing blue, well done guys.
Hey.
Thank you for coming, thank you for making it down.
Thanks for inviting us.
And the even weirder thing is that we're doing this at my house. So, we're not at River Studios, we're at my house. So apologies if the kettle goes or if you hear a cat meow, but that's just the nature of it.
Good man.
As always, we will start off with reviewing previous matches. So this is obviously the beginning of December, and we will start off with the Arsenal game. I'll go for Warwick Dave to start.
Well, that was a bad choice because I didn't actually go to the game because we were snowed in up in the Midlands. But I did watch it on TV and I thought we put in a good performance really. I was quite pleased with the performance we put in. I thought Højbjerg was brilliant. He had a good game considering he had had that much game time this season. And it's just a shame that, you know, they equalised with about 3 minutes to go. Whether that's lack of fitness or whether we just, you know, switched off at the end of the game. But yeah, overall I thought it was a good performance.
Cool. We'll go around the table, so go to Kevin.
The Arsenal game, I thought we were dominant and Arsenal were very lucky though. They got something and nicked a point from us. I thought Arsenal were bang average. I thought they didn't turn up. The front three of Lacazette wasn't even there at the game. I was even saying to Mark, I think Lacazette's going to score in a minute, and he got taken off.
Yeah. Can I just say at the last podcast, Kevin mentioned Lacazette, Ozil and Sanchez, and the three of them played. He said we were going to be bang in trouble.
Sanchez did cross the ball in for the goal, so
yeah, but
it was a good cross.
a game of football's 90 minutes, not one touch.
And there's one thing I did notice though, it was a 12 o'clock kickoff, and for me, I totally disagree with 12 o'clock kickoffs. For me, they should never be. Like, some of these fans couldn't make it to the game due to the snow, and if it was delayed from, like, say 12 o'clock till 2 o'clock or whatnot, fans could at least get to the game. And I know we're at home, but still getting to the game was a bit of a hassle for me. I don't know.
There's a TV fixture as well.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
That could be a future edition of the podcast talking about kick-off time. It would be really nice. We're actually recording on the night they're doing the first ever Saturday night game as well. So.
That's correct, yeah.
Apart from that, I think we played very, very well, and I think we were very unlucky not to get all 3 points in that match.
Fair enough. Go around.
I was very impressed with our performance home to Arsenal. I thought for me it was the best performance this season. I thought we were very dominant. I thought we made it very difficult for Arsenal to play football, actually really create anything. Considering they had all their attacking players on the pitch, I thought we'd done incredibly well to keep all of them quiet.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I thought every time we got the ball, we came forward well, we attacked well, our passing was good, we were really quick coming forward. And it just amazed me watching the game, how we were only 1-0 up at half time, I think, was it?
Yeah.
I think we went 1-0 up at half time, and I'm thinking, how are we not 4-5 up? You know, I thought Austin had an absolute blinder of a game that day.
Yeah.
And even the second half, you know, we still the better team, still played, still should have had a couple. I think was it Bertrand, Mr. Sitter?
It was, yes.
Yeah.
In the second half.
In the second half, and so it's just amazing how we did win the game by like 2 or 3 clear goals, but just unlucky really to concede late equaliser and then just get the point. But I think that's what happens when you don't take chances.
It's true.
But I still think it was a good point gain more than a point lost because of who we were playing.
Did you think like the Arsenal back were like so slow, and Austin even look, he's not the most quickest player, but he made their back line look slow as anything.
I'll going back what Kev was saying. I think Arsenal, to be fair, were very, very standard that day. I think it was a bad performance from Arsenal's point of view, but I do think it was a good performance from our point of view. But
I think it was a godsend that Arsene Wenger, for some inexplicable reason, decided to play Mertesacker because the guy's a donkey.
Right, that was the first game I missed this season. Like Dave, I was snowed in, unfortunately. I won't do what Freddie on the ugly inside does and talk a load of rubbish about a game I didn't go to. I'll keep this short. Yoshida is out of his depth. If we sell Van Dijk, we're going to be in a real mess. He gets beaten in every aerial duel, like the game we just been to against Huddersfield. So yeah, we have to keep hold of Van Dijk or we're going down, I'm afraid.
I was put down there on teams, isn't it?
What about your assessment, Matt?
I actually couldn't make that game because of work. I don't finish work till 12:30 when I start. So I didn't make it, but I watched as much of the game as I could. Very similar assessment, really. Very annoyed that we did concede, obviously very frustrating after the fact that we should have won the game and very much deserved to win the game, I think. A lot of players had fantastic games, definitely had the better chances, and as was already alluded to, it was Bertram's chance that I think was the one that really should have been the one that had taken us 2 goals ahead, and that would have been a different game.
To be fair, he created the chance for himself. You got to be fair to him, but he just didn't finish it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You need to point that out. But
yeah, no, I think it's probably quite a way our best performance out of the 4 games that will be revealed. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not got us the points that we deserved, and as we'll go on to talk about, it's points that we've obviously desperately needed.
Well, my take on the game was we deserved the 3 points and we didn't get it. Charlie Austin had a goal, a shot at the goalkeeper. He hit a post, I think, and he was offside. Second half we had Ryan Bertram chance, and we also had Oriol Romeu hitting the woodwork, if anybody remembers that.
Yeah.
So all in all, it was an excellent performance. It deserved the 3 points in terms of the team and stuff like that there, but like in football, you don't get what you want. The only criticism I would have, I know this goes against what Hugh just said, but Olivier Giroud, if you actually watch the goal, Van Dijk gets out jumped at.
Both him and
and basically Olivier Giroud puts it away.
That's one thing.
Just one of those things, but in the grand scheme of things, it's probably 2 points dropped because, like you said, it was one of our best performances of this month.
There was one thing that I was disappointed in that game was when Sanchez was about to deliver the ball into the box. He knew he was going to try and kind of curl it in, but on his left, I think it was his left foot. Right. And if he was shown down the onto the wing down that way, and instead of towards goal, I think that wouldn't have been a goal there. But because Tadic didn't close him down quick enough, that's why the goal.
Basically, if he had showed him to the outside rather than or showed him to the inside rather than the outside, you reckon he wouldn't have got the cross?
Yeah, I think it was more to do with the actual cross, more so than Giroud's goal, I think.
Anybody else anything to add? Okay. I don't really want to go on to the next game. I might just skip it. Obviously, the next game was Leicester at home. I think it's safe to say that nobody really quite saw that coming.
No.
Might have.
I did manage to get down to that one.
Happened.
Yeah, I did.
To the extent of us
It was
being
coming.
3-0
It was
down.
coming. It's been coming all season.
So you're saying before the game, you would have said that we
I
would
could
have
see-
been
I could-
3-0 down at half time.
I could have seen Leicester winning that game.
Yes, but not 3-0. That's what I'm saying. The extent of it, I don't
No,
think anybody
no,
could quite foresee.
I mean, we did allude to it in last month's podcast when we said about, I think I remember saying it, that Leicester were the classic counter-attacking team. And they did prove that, the goals that they scored, but
But what annoyed me most, I mean, I did manage to get down to that game, but what annoyed me most was the selection. I mean, like I said before, I thought Højbjerg was brilliant against Arsenal. He didn't play. Hood didn't play either. And that first goal, it was awful. I've seen better defended on a Sunday morning on the flipping park. With school kids playing. Everybody knows what Mahrez does. He gets the ball and he works it onto his left foot. He went past 3 Saints defenders in front of the goal and they just backed off him.
That was some goal, though.
You
that
know.
was some goal, and I think.
Well, yeah, it was a good goal, but 3 defenders had the chances to take him out. Hit him up in the air if necessary. They do it, other times.
There was 3 slips, wasn't there, from different
Yeah,
players?
it was awful. It was just
was
an
like as
awful
if they
performance by the players.
it was as if on the goal front that Dave's talking about, it was as if they were wearing the wrong studs or something, because people looked like they were just sliding all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was no effort there either in that back four. And Van Dijk, he was rubbish on.
He was rubbish that game, definitely. I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Hugh, but if he's the only saviour we
And I
got,
think that's one of the reasons why he hasn't played the last 2 games,
Yeah.
because it was abundantly clear that he didn't look interested in that
No,
particular
exactly.
game.
exactly.
Right,
Keep
this
going.
will annoy Mark, but the atmosphere is an embarrassment from both sets of fans. A League One side would have took more fans than Leicester did. A lot of their fans live local to me, and
Yeah.
that's pathetic to say the least. 1,500 for a club who
Yeah,
won the
they
league. 2
made a
years
lot of
ago.
noise though, didn't they?
They made a lot of noise.
And
with
our
that.
fans, I could hear a pin drop the whole 90 minutes. Mark tries to big it up, saying we're one of the best set of fans in the country, but that was shocking.
I never said we're one of the best set of fans in the country. All I'm trying to point out is that the atmospheres, and I know you're saying it with tongue in cheek sort of thing, but when you look at the atmospheres in other grounds, and I'll point out Manchester City, and I'm sure everybody else will back me up here, terrible compared to St Mary's, absolutely, and they've got a team to share about.
Yeah, but they actually have some effective chants going.
Do
Our
they?
songs are unbelievably cringy, particularly the Charlie Austin song.
Maybe we
He's
should
got no connection with Portsmouth at all. Why would he hate them?
Another feature for another podcast, perhaps.
as I said, probably what they need is a poet laureate then of Southampton, like they have at
I love how
Manchester
we've already
United.
gone off the Leicester game topic.
Yeah.
That's the game.
Yeah, well,
That's how bad it was.
it was. That is how bad it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I was really disappointed with the performance against Leicester. We just at 6s and 7s really the whole game. We just never looked locked in it. I mean, how can you be 3-0 down in like half an hour at home against, okay, fair enough, they're not a bad sort of Leicester, but coming back off of the performance against Arsenal to then be 3-0 down in half an hour at home against Leicester, it's just like, where did that come from? It's just
exactly.
not acceptable. It's just
Yeah.
I just think the players and the club need to wake up really and realise that they're in the Premier League, and if they don't buck their old ears up, they ain't going to be in the Premier League. So there's got to be, we need to improve. We can't be putting in performances like some of the performances we put in this season against some of the teams we've been playing, especially at home. It's just your home's got to be a fortress. I've been saying this
Exactly.
for months now, and I've just
Yeah.
I'm fed up with repeating myself, but I just feel that I've got to make a point all the time.
But also to make it a fortress, you've got to play at least 2 strikers when you're at home.
I disagree with that. I would say that what Matt said, and I'll go back to this, what Matt said in the last podcast about how we set up, right? Because it goes back to, you've got, like, we always have set up this same way or a variation of it. We've never, and when we were being successful, we didn't play 4-4-2. It wasn't a 4-4-2 system. It was, you had the forward and you had maybe a player playing off it, but you didn't have it wasn't an out-and-out 4-4-2 system.
No, it's still 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
It's what to make.
And we don't have the attacking players anymore, I'm sorry, but we don't
No.
for to play that system, so he needs to change something, whether it is to go to a 4-4-2 or not, but
I just wanted to make one quick point. I don't know if anyone knows the answer to it, but yeah, when was the last time that we actually won 2 games back to back?
I think we did last season, didn't
would have been West Ham at home and Palace away. Was that 2
No.
games back to back? I think it was.
we? No, because there's Huddersfield in between.
Oh God,
So my point being, is it was a
So
long
it's
time
only
ago.
one
it's
season.
been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, which
yeah.
just
I don't know,
shows
we've
how
done it this season,
inconsistent.
haven't we?
Yeah.
You know,
And it would even have been a while in the, in the Puel's reign before we won back to back. I think it was
Yeah.
West Ham and
Potter.
West Ham away and then home to somebody.
Possibly, yeah.
Can't think who it was, but
Yeah, because we were.
he did it middle of, I know it was middle of September before he did it.
Yes, because it was 3 wins in a row, wasn't it? It was 3
Yeah.
home wins in a row.
Yeah.
It was. I think it was Swansea, and then Sparta Prague,
Sorry, Swansea.
Swansea, and then
Yes.
Crystal Palace League Cup game. But they're all different competitions, so I don't know quite whether you mean in the Premier League or.
yeah, I
whatever.
did mean more in the league.
Yeah,
but
but I can't remember
Yeah.
that off the hand.
Never got a chance to say my opinion
Go
on
on.
the Leicester match quickly. Yeah, first of all, the atmosphere Hugh was saying, I think that it's probably because they didn't have the clappers. We didn't have no clappers, so there was no atmosphere. Secondly, I think Leicester, I think Pellegrino tactically had our team absolutely disorganised. You would think Leicester, they're a counter-attacking team. You would be aware of that, but for me, he had it completely tactically out. He was just not. There was no organisation whatsoever. Secondly, I think we went 3-1, and then Charlie Austin had a chance to make it 3-2, and it was like one of those gaping chances which you think you would put your house on it that Charlie Austin's going to bury it.
Yeah.
And that could, for me, that had a big effect on the match, because if that went 3-2, then I think we could have got at least a point out of that game. But however, then Leicester counter-attacked like they'd done, and then it was 4-1, so the game was dead and buried. But for me, tactically, I've been saying this all season, Pellegrino for me has to go, but that's on a different topic altogether.
It's very difficult. I mean, I agree with what you said, by the way, about the Charlie Austin missing and went 3-2, then it is sort of game on to a degree. But I always thought Leicester were capable of going down the other end and scoring anyway. But
Well,
that's
tactically the manager's responsibility to set us out, not to get counter-attack. With Leicester they had like Jamie Vardy pace, Mahrez pace, Okazaki pace, and for me we were tactically vulnerable from minute 1 of that game.
So it's very difficult. It's very difficult in the modern era when you're watching football in terms of creating an atmosphere. When you go down 3-0 inside about 35 minutes and you're sort of sat there, I don't care who you are, but you lose interest.
But you weren't at the game, Mark, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Neither was
there
Jeffrey.
either.
Neither was Jeffrey. He was not at the game neither. I don't know where he was. So
I wasn't very
I'll grin and bear it to the 82nd minute, and then I thought I'm gonna have to go. It was just not good enough.
Well, what, right? I was there the whole game, but you digged in early, Ken. Anyway, any more opinions to say? I think.
I did watch it on a stream, by the way. I wasn't.
I think it's fair to say it was a disappointing game
Absolutely.
after the Arsenal game, after the high of the Arsenal game. Then you sort of,
Absolutely.
went right down to the depths.
Would
I said
that
on the
suggest
previous-
there's shop window performances happening at our club? When the big clubs come to town, they're playing for moves, and when we need
Possibly,
to roll our
yeah.
sleeves up, they just can't be asked.
Yeah.
I did say on the
Actually,
last,
that's a fair point, Hugh.
Yeah.
That's
I
a fair
said on the
point.
last podcast about keeping the positivity at home after the Everton game, and you could say it was there for the Arsenal game. But it obviously certainly wasn't there for Leicester. But as a bit of a counterpoint to do with Leicester,
Yeah.
they then get thumped 3-0 at home their next game.
Exactly, but that's where
I think
it
it
doesn't
was-
make
They
any
played very
sense.
well against Manchester City the next
Yeah.
game. There.
They had a
They
red
did,
card
yeah. I
though,
think
so
it's-
there was a sending off which had
Yeah,
a big
but they were already 2 down at that point. It's just
It is
I
a
don't
fair point,
understand
but
these series of results
how
sometimes.
how bad does that make us look though?
Potentially, but I think as well it highlights that was probably Leicester's best performance of the season. I was speaking to a Leicester fan that I know, and he's saying by a mile that was their best performance of the whole season. So
But maybe it's because Puel knew the players.
possibly
He knows how we're going to.
I've
He
got
certainly knows how we're going to set up, doesn't he?
the Leicester
Yeah.
game proved to me a whole theory about Pure, but I haven't got time to. So I'll be going on one of Mark's famous rants. Otherwise.
Okay.
Cool. So we'll go on to the next game, which was Chelsea away. Who wants to start on that? Nobody. Lovely.
Yeah, I'll
I'll
start.
start on it.
Go on then.
For me, I thought it was a very drab game. There wasn't much entertaining. It was just that free kick. For me, Chelsea were there for the taking. We didn't show that much enthusiasm, and if we did, we might have got something from the game. I thought Chelsea were very poor. I thought Saints were very poor, and it was a free kick, and you was expecting William to take it, and he didn't take it, and Alonso. But then for me, Fraser Foster should be saving that.
It was
And
his mistake, definitely.
but the wall wasn't set up properly. If the wall was set up like 2 inches that way,
To the keeper's right.
there was no way that goal would have gone in. But then Fraser had a good game up. He was having a good game up to that just free kick. So
And he saved a couple after that as well.
Yeah.
You know.
But all I would say, man, is Charlie Austin came on, and he had a chance after about 30 seconds. And the whole thing for me about the Chelsea game was we were set up not to lose. We're looking fairly solid. I even sort of, I'm going to lay off James Ward-Prowse a bit because I thought he put a shift in it at Chelsea. In terms of what he had to do. But Charlie Austin came on, and after 30 seconds, he had an effort. I just think he got it wrong up front. I'd have started with Austin in that game, right? Because we were just hitting long balls. You're sitting there thinking to yourself, that's not Gabbiadini's game. It's not his game.
No.
If you're going to play balls in the feet, fine. But if you're going to knock long, because we were knocking long balls, I'm sitting there thinking, Charlie Austin all day long. And sometimes I get baffled about the games that we're playing and the way we decide to play games in terms of what forward we've got on the pitch. And I just thought in that game we were crying out for Charlie Austin, in terms of the ball being knocked up, and if he gets a chance at goal, he's probably more likely to score at the minute, I mean, it must be difficult for Gabbiadini, but I just thought I'd throw that one in there.
No, I think it's something that's come across in the games. It's how we're playing. Like we've all said in the previous podcast that the strikers are different for different games. They all offer something different. Yeah, I'm not sure. 100% sure as to whether all of Pellegrino's selections with his strikers have been right for the type of game that we're playing. I think
Agreed.
for me after the Leicester game, I wasn't absolutely devastated at losing to Chelsea. I thought we put in a much better shift in, and to actually be a bit more structured in the way that we played was what was needed after the Leicester game. It still wasn't enough, obviously, and I'm still annoyed that we lost the game. Of course I am, but it was a better for the Leicester game. It was a decent enough response, I think.
Response, right. So the thing is then, how low is our base at the moment?
How low is the base? Well, I said before the baseline where we should be hitting is the Everton game and that performance. But I'm just saying from the fact that it got much. I'm not saying for a whole season. For a whole season, obviously it's not been good enough, and it's still disappointing to go and see us play that way against Chelsea. But just in that instance, and the way that Pellegrino was obviously wanting a bit more of a dogged response from his players.
I just worry that in terms of what you watch, and in terms of the supporters, your any sort of expectation level is absolutely on the floor at the moment. And while I agree that on the back of the Leicester game, but that's like saying, well, we've lost, theoretically, you lose 6 games on the spin, right? You play one game where you play well, you lose 2-1, and then you go out and you lose 5-1, right? So you're looking for a reaction the next game. The next game you lose 2-1, and you're thinking, oh well, that's not too bad. But all that time, you're not picking up relative points.
No, I understand.
And even though I was a critic of PL, and I know I'm going slightly off base here, right? At least at the end of the day, that man was still getting points on the board. Admittedly, we were drawn and it was bored, but we were organised, we were getting points on the board, and I recognise that now. And at the minute, we're just not even looking, we don't look organised in it. There are times when he sends his team out, we look organised, but in the main, we don't look organised, and we're not picking up results. We're not, that's why I'm saying how low's the base at the minute. The base is at the bottom.
And to expand on that, Mark, there's just no plan B as well. He sets the team up, and when things goes against us, there's just no way of us coming back in the game. As soon as Chelsea scored, we might as well have gone home, I'm afraid. There was no way we were going to threaten them. And there's just no captain on the pitch as well, I'm afraid. There's no one really driving the team on.
Because could you honestly say Chelsea, I mean, don't get me wrong, they've got great players and all that, but they didn't look that great.
No.
When we played them, they weren't that great.
They've got a really busy schedule. We had them at a good time though. We just didn't take our chances.
They were just going for an emotion, so they didn't really create much.
No,
They did enough to win.
I did think it was me and Dale thought when Charlie came on, he gave us something that we didn't have.
Yeah.
But it's all like the cavalry to the rescue, and it's all too little too late a lot of the time,
Jeff?
Yeah, I'll pretty much agree with what everyone's saying really. I thought Chelsea were there for the taking. We didn't offer anything up front really. Thought we were crying out for Austin. Wasn't really the type of game for Gabardini, like Mark was saying. We just never really lost scoring really. We set up not to lose the game.
Yeah.
The only real positive for me was we only lost ball a lot of 1 goal, but other than that, it was less than convincing. We just need to have more in the locker. We need to have more enthusiasm with the way we play and shine a bit more and give fans a bit more belief in their team. Really,
there are players within the team that are playing, and they are giving it the veto. But there are other players you're sat there, you're thinking, you're in a bit of a mess here. We need you to try and produce the best that you possibly can for us. And there's players there that just don't look
as a Saints
as if
fan.
they're up for it.
As Saints fans, are you optimistic at the moment? Because at the moment, I really don't feel that optimistic. I don't know.
All I would say as well, Matt, about the Chelsea game before we move on, right? He played Lamina, and Lamina tweeted after the game that he wasn't fit.
Yeah,
we played
that was
him,
interesting.
right? And then the other thing that I was going to say was Cedric, right? Cedric was not fit, and he played, and he got injured. He played in the Leicester game and he wasn't fit. I want to know what's going on there in relation to, because you can't, I mean, that's what a squad's there for. If somebody's injured, you don't play them, period. You know?
Yeah, but also, after the Leicester game, Pellegrino said there are some players out there tonight that aren't giving 100% for their club, for their team.
He's
That's
not giving
what I was
100%
worried
himself.
about.
And on the Saturday, he dropped Van Dijk, he dropped Tadic, and Cedric and Lamina. They are 100% players. They are giving their all for the team, and that's probably why he played them, even though they weren't fit. And I think you can think what you like about Pellegrino, and I'm not his biggest fan, but I think he needs to be applauded for making that decision to drop Van Dijk and Tadic, and I'm glad he did it again today.
No,
Yeah,
I
okay.
disagree.
But we haven't got
Well,
the
well,
results. How
He
can you applaud
he
it?
didn't drop Tadic today.
I
Tadic.
Well, no, but he kept Van Dijk out.
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but
okay, yeah.
Van Dijk's leaving. That's the. Les Reed has
That's
gone to the
what-
manager and said
That's what they're saying.
Van Dijk's on his way. Don't play him.
Yeah, but again, Pellegrino has said to the board he wants him to stay.
But
I mean, all I would say going back to the game is you can't. For me, right. That's why we've got a squad there. Matt Target should have been playing in Cedric's place for those two games, you know, or Sam McQueen or whoever it is. But you don't play injured players.
Cedric's right back.
Sorry, yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Pierre, Jack Stevens, whoever.
Yeah.
But my point's still valid. You don't play injured
No.
players.
Fair enough.
You know.
I think we could have a whole other podcast on the Van Dijk debate as well. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not even touching on it. I'm going to try and stay away
I
from
think
it.
that's another 3 extra
But
podcasts.
it was a much improved against Chelsea. It was a much improved performance, considering they had Leicester
still-
3 days
I still
before.
think we look bad. I still think we look bad against Leicester. Apart from Arsenal, and I'm going to say today, well, I don't think we look that great either today. But
Well, we're coming on there, aren't we?
As I say, we'll make a wrap of that and move on to the Huddersfield game. We'll just add that we have literally come straight to my house from the game. We've not seen, well, I certainly have, unless anybody else has any highlights or anything from the
No,
game.
haven't
So
seen anything.
if we are slightly factually wrong, please bear with us on that. But, I'll go
Well,
for
go
mine
to
first.
Hugh.
Oh, okay.
first.
I'll go to Hugh first. then.
Well, it was a fair result in my opinion, but what really angered me today is the usual. The opposition manager makes a sub before we do, and it changes the game. So they made that double change, and they score within 2 minutes. If Pellegrino actually knew what he was doing, he would have sensed there was a change on the horizon, and he would have acted. I'm not too surprised, but we were quite unlucky. We had some really good opportunities. Yoshida hitting the post at the end. Austin missed a glorious chance, but on the whole, we didn't really work the goalkeeper. And again, I'm afraid it's another very disappointing performance.
Wow.
The thing is for me about today's game would have been like you take the lead and you're sort of thinking you need to go. This is the whole thing about our season: taking the lead, and straight away you're sitting there thinking, before we can even think about getting points out of the game, we need to score a second one. And it's just frustrating to sit and watch it, because for me, Huddersfield were never out of that game today. It wasn't like we were sat there and the players, like the fans, the importance wasn't lost today, right? I'm not saying it was a 6, I'm not saying any of that rubbish, right? But the importance of today's game wasn't lost on the fans, and I'm sure it wasn't lost on the players, and they're just not. The thing is the pressure there is building and building with our football club, and it's a little bit like a pressure cooker at the minute. In terms of the results and everything else. And today, everybody knew what was on the line, and I just felt, yeah, again, there was people there that were doing their utmost. I thought Matt Target actually came in and had a good game. I did. And I don't know. I just really concerned, really concerned about things. I just I'm hoping that something's going to change either in the January window to decide to bring in some new blood, because it needs it. They need it in an attacking sense. They need it. They need a winger. They need a attacking midfielder who can pick a pass. Set up in the summer about both those positions, and hopefully we'll do something in the January. But
difficult.
as I say, I thought it was. What surprised me was it was a really open game. Huddersfield, I mean, as much as we had chances, Huddersfield had chances too. It wasn't like we were slamming the door on them coming forward. And funnily enough, at the very start of the game, defensively, we looked at 6s and 7s.
Yeah.
But
at least Forster came off his line and headed the ball out, didn't he?
He did. Was he at fault for the goal? Did anybody think he was at fault for the goal? No. Do you think he could have reacted to it? No.
What can he do? It's a defensive mistake and he's in between two defenders for me. Go on, Andrew.
Yeah, it was a very poor game again, I thought. How you expect to be getting 3 points against teams like Huddersfield.
Yeah.
We just didn't. We weren't all over them like we were when we played Arsenal at home, and that was the kind of performance I think we needed today. Like a real energetic, real energising, energetic, full on performance, and we just didn't do it. We just, we weren't all over them. We weren't quick coming forward. Like Mark said, it was an open game. They had as many chances as we did. We didn't really create a lot, and it's just, we got to be coming out on top.
What annoyed me was we knew what was at stake today. They knew what was at stake today, and like you said, the Arsenal performance, and then you get that today. That was nowhere near it. But that was the kind of performance we needed today, and we didn't, it didn't happen.
We just need more. We just, we got to turn up a notch or two. We just we've got to play a lot of more urgency.
Kevin?
For me, something is stuck in my mind at the moment. For me, I thought the fans today were shocking. For me, it was the 72nd minute. It's 1-1. We're against Huddersfield, and you could see fans leaving. In their numbers.
That's a bit rich coming from you, mate.
No offence, but they were leaving on the 72nd minute, and Huddersfield were singing "Oh, when the Saints go marching out," and they were singing it for it's just stuck in my mind. I think the fans, for me, today was kind of a 6-pointer, and for me, the fans were not at the ballpark today. And I thought the players weren't at the ballpark neither. So
it's difficult. I mean, look, I'll always be the first one to sort of defend the fans. I mean, like I would say, I thought initially the fans were up for it because they were singing, and they did initially where we were anyway. I know some of us sit in the chapel, it's like a morgue in the chapel, but where I sit anyway, there was plenty of noise. You sit close to me, don't you? Plenty of noise to start off with, certainly. And then I think if the team had have shown maybe a little bit more endeavour, then the crowd maybe would have got behind them more. That was more my feeling of it. But
going into the match, I think first 20 minutes Huddersfield had a great opportunity. They should have been 1-0 up. Then out of the blue we score, and then it looked to me there was nothing in the match. Then we had a gaping opportunity. Apart from that, I can't remember much of the game. It was very boring. That's all I can say. There was no atmosphere in the ground. There was nothing on the pitch for me to get up on my seat. Today I was very disappointed. I don't know about you.
I think you were disappointed because the clappers weren't there, but
yeah, well, it was just a shocking performance, I'm afraid. We're going to have to see a managerial change before the January transfer window. It's a real uphill battle. Knowing Les, he's probably thinking, let's sack him on the 1st of February, save a few pennies. The next manager doesn't have any funds to work with, no one to sign, so I'm feeling very low today, unfortunately.
I think what did people make of Eric Black leaving? It's like, do you think that's, for me?
Well, as Mark told me on the phone, it's just penny pinching, thinking such a small change like that will turn our fortunes around.
Well, it's all about appeasement, and there's a section of the Saints fans that obviously, because it was Puel, under the Puel guys, Eric Black's still there, it's like, get rid of him. Alright, I know he didn't have a good track record as a manager, but what I'm saying is for me, you're only scratching the surface there. Surely there's more culpability than just Eric Black.
Have we got any more views on the Huddersfield game?
Sorry.
That's right.
Just apart from get rid of Pellegrino, that's the only thing I could say. Get rid of him.
It'd
be my
Thanks
Christmas.
for that, Kevin.
It'd be my Christmas present if he gets sacked tomorrow.
The thing
I'll be
is,
very happy.
have you got
Christmas
anything
present, wouldn't it?
constructive? It's alright turning around and saying sack Pellegrino. Who do you bring in? Because I know who I'd bring in. But
somebody that's a bit more organised.
who would you bring in?
He's got no tactical ability. Just anyone who can motivate the team would do a better job purely on that basis.
Alright, once round the table, Jeff, I'm interested. Right? Would you keep hold of Pellegrino at the minute or not?
I think I probably would. Not necessarily through choice, but because I'm thinking, well, who else are we going to bring in?
Yeah, but
And the point being is, and I was saying this on the way here to Kevin, right? If we sack a manager, because my theory is the managers are being told how they want them to how they want to play, right? My point being is, unless you're going to freshen things up, change the style of play, and or bring in some new faces, I don't think anything would change.
Well, surely in the January we're going to bring in new faces. I'm just asking you, like, at the moment, would you keep hold of them or not? Once round it, because everybody's getting the question, and if you don't come up with a solution, then it's irrelevant about getting rid of them.
Go on, Hugh.
It's a fair comment. You can't turn around and say sack the manager.
I'll say yes, because the game's coming up. You're full on expecting to lose.
Okay,
anyway.
who are you bringing in?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. You asked me, would you get rid of him at the moment or wouldn't you? And I said, well, I wouldn't, because I don't know who else we bring in. But then you're saying, yeah, but if you you're twisting it. You're saying, well, if you're going to get rid of him anyway, you might as well. I'm saying, well, maybe now would be a good time, because the next few games you're expecting to lose him anyway. So at least it's a couple of weeks where you could.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get at is if you're going to get rid of him, because this is what they're looking at. If you're going to get rid of him, who are you going to bring in? That was my question.
Surely the tough games means it's the perfect opportunity to sack him, because that's find the time and appoint the next manager.
So who would you bring in? Because I know you've got names. Come on.
Bielsa, definitely. A huge name who would have the respect of the players, which Pellegrini clearly doesn't have.
For anybody that doesn't know, that was the project. Well, yeah, he took Pochettino under his wing, didn't he?
Yeah, and he got Chile playing the way they do with this really strong pressing game, and it's worked for us in the past. It makes sense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What about you, Matt?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I tweeted directly after the game. So going back to the actual Huddersfield game itself.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. I think, well, obviously very disappointed not to win a game that we should have done, and actually not just because it's Huddersfield, but the actual game and the chances we had.
The importance, yeah.
Obviously Austin, as we've said, should have taken the chance. So I said that we should have won 2 or 3-1 today, even with the dreadful defending. I did actually think, I thought, even though we talked about the timing of the subs, I actually thought the subs were looking to be positive.
Although I thought the subs were fine, but I agree with you. You've got to be action rather than reaction to what's going on.
I understand that. But following that point is that I literally tweeted about the goal being the turning point, and I'd said about it, referencing a tweet that I'd said before, because I think it was the Burnley game, wasn't it, where they'd done a double sub. And
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
Just before the sub that we'd missed the chance to go. I'm in the Burnley game ahead, but obviously in this game, in the Huddersfield game, we had Charlie's chance just before the substitutions. I think they actually made the subs following his miss, and then obviously the subs worked.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the Charlie's chance and him missing it, which he really should have scored in the form he's in, you'd have backed him to. I really thought was the big turning point. So, considering the defending on the pitch for today, I wouldn't necessarily put a lot of blame on Pellegrino. There's, as we've said, there's bits that, we could analyse and look at.
But the problem with that though is I accept what you're saying in relation to today, but
hang on, that's where I'm getting to. I said, but it's the thing that really is the problem is obviously the confidence issue. There isn't a lot of confidence in the team. There's absolutely no confidence in the fans. There's not really much confidence around this table. And the only way
is there confidence from the players in the manager? That's what
I don't think there is.
Just listening to Pellegrino after Leicester in particular, he was almost in tears after that game. You want someone who's going to kick the team and up the backside and get them playing again.
Yeah, I watched it on a stream and they had him on it, and he was sat on. He looked isolated. He looked marginalised, sat there on the bench. That's the same bloke that really took over. You know, there was all the arm waving, and then and everything else. And now it's like he looks like a guy that's run out of ideas, or he looks like a guy that's gone 10 rounds with Mike Tyson.
Yes, I think the only way realistically we're going to see that change throughout the whole club, confidence-wise, will be the change of the manager. But as we've already discussed, it then says who we bring in. Had some names.
Have you any thoughts?
It's difficult because you can list names, but would they take the job themselves? You don't know. Obviously, people then would come back to those that aren't Premier League quality or have made a name for themselves in the Premier League, and will say that, I don't want that because we need someone that's knows the league. That's an argument that some people use. I think it's very difficult to talk about other managers when you've got one in place.
Yeah, that's no definitely.
That's my opinion on it. I certainly wouldn't be against a change because change I think needs to happen somewhere. I think that's going to be the place where it does happen if it happens. But I don't know the actual answer at the moment.
That's a bit of fence sitting there, mate. If you had to stick out and say bring a manager in, yes or no, where would you go?
I would say yes on the basis that something has to change.
So he did say bring somebody who doesn't know who.
I don't have an answer to say. Right, I definitely.
Well, don't you think, as it stands, we're on course to go down? So even if we get the next appointment wrong, we have to just take a chance and hope it works out because we're a sinking ship as it stands anyway. So what's the point just carrying on as we are?
I mean, here I speak on the phone, and I know Hugh's adverse to this one, right? And I actually agree with you about who should take over. But having said that,
you want the job?
as an interim, Gordon Strachan still lives down the road, mate. You know what I mean? And the thing is it would be a bit of an appeaser. I'd only say till the end of the season, even though I know we might go down and all the rest of it.
I told you about this. You took Coventry down in a very similar sort of situation, so that's just bringing someone in who's failed previously. So where's the logic?
But the thing is that he was on the up by us though. He came to us when he'd actually taken Coventry down.
I'm going to move it on because this is going on into a different podcast. But it's good to have these opinions around, and again, we need to maybe do more other stuff on the pages. And
I've got a manager who I would bring in.
Go on then, quickly.
Bilic.
You want Bilic here?
Yeah. Well, I'd sort of bring in Frank de Boer than Bilic.
Or Koeman. I know it might be
everybody round this table would have Koeman back, I think.
Would they?
Would they?
Well, maybe not you.
I personally wouldn't.
Maybe not you.
It's not worked with the board setup.
But I think everybody.
That's
else
why I
would
would get rid of Les Reed as well.
Well, that's a
yeah,
different
exactly. Yeah, but that's relevant though for what you've just said.
No,
that's relevant.
It's relevant for that, but it is a different question. So we're going to move on to something slightly different now. We're going to be doing, as it is the last podcast of 2017. We're going to do awards for the year, for the calendar year. So we're going to go around the table. We're going to try and make it quick fire as well. So we're going to go for first question of Saints Player of the Year, and I'm going to go around the table. So start with Mark.
Saints Player of the Year for me would be.
Hang on, you made the questions up. You've had time to think about it.
It's just tough when you're thinking about it. I'd give it to Ryan Burton actually.
Yeah, I'd go along with that, and Stephen Davis as well. I think both of them are top professionals.
You have to choose one. Which one?
Davis.
Davis.
You do.
Bertrand.
Well, I'm going to go for an interesting one.
Ooh.
I know a lot of people are going to laugh at me, but I'm going to say Charlie Austin. Although he's been, let me finish. Although he's been on the bench for half the season, it seems like he has. When he's been played, he's been awesome.
Yeah.
I've not seen a player play better when they've been on the pitch than he has when he's been on the pitch.
And the last few matches, he's given
And
he's got the points.
50%. Yeah.
He
scores goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bertrand, he's been by far our most consistent player. He doesn't really make any mistakes at the back. Very solid.
Bertrand would be my one as well. So, by the panel of Under the Halo, well done, Ryan Bertrand. I'm sure you are absolutely humbled to win this award. I'm afraid you don't even get a trophy. So we'll go.
Be arranged to end the season.
Yeah. We'll go for Saints' goal of the calendar year.
Oh, it's got to be Buffal for me against West Brom.
Thank you. You see.
I'll go for between two. It's either Yoshida or Buffal. It's probably going to go for Buffal.
Buffal. Obviously the same goal, I'm sure.
Yeah, Buffal's goal for me. That's quality.
3 for
Buffal as well,
Buffal.
Yours is.
Mine is Yoshida away at Stoke City. Thank you very much.
Myers is my second, but I'm also going for Buffal.
Is that when he did that karate kick?
Myers one,
It's
yeah.
just
That
from
was
a
good,
defender.
Yeah.
Wasn't
From
very
to
good.
remember, it was from a defender.
Was a very good goal. Again, Sofian Buffal. Well done.
Well done.
Well done. I'm sure, again, this is the highlight of your career, winning this award. Next award, next question. The champagne moment of 2016.
Champion moment of 2016
If everyone has different
2017, isn't it?
ones, sorry, 2017.
Sorry, yeah,
You want to
2017.
forget all of 2017.
Who's going first?
I was going to say, if we don't all say the same one, that'll be absolutely
alright.
bad.
Mine would be our performance against Everton, but Everton were a bang average team. But I
What
think
about the whole year?
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
think we were
Alright.
dominating
The
against
whole
Everton.
year.
No,
I'm controversial.
Yeah, I know.
Controversial.
I know where you're going. I know where I'm going.
Go on.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Buffal's goal against West Brom was the champagne moment.
Okay.
Getting to the cup final without
There
his
you
arm.
go.
Yes, but
There you
Yeah.
go.
That performance at Liverpool, Shane Long's goal.
Oh, yeah.
Shane Long's that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Shane-
I would have.
Shane
Shane Long's
Shane
goal
Long's
at
goal.
Liverpool.
Oh,
And
that's
the
my
assist,
vocal
the
cords,
assist
mate.
from the young man, Josh Sims, who is back.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Who is back. Thankfully, is back, and hopefully he'll be back in the first team picture
No, he
fairly
did say
soon.
2017.
Oh,
That's why I said it was of 2017.
Well,
okay, then mine would be
2017.
the Shane Long school.
There you go. That's why I said
So
if
it's
everyone,
you know,
if everyone
it's-
had different opinions to that, then I'll
No, okay.
be very, very surprised. Again, well done, Shane.
Well done, Shane Long.
Yeah,
And Josh Sim.
yeah. Ably
I think-
assisted by Josh Sims.
I think if you asked pretty much every Saints fan, what would be your moment? of
That'd be the
2016?
highlight of
That would
my
be-
Saints supporting career, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm feeling
I think that's
good.
the one. And then, slightly bit more left field question, left field award that we have been debating over is the Saints quote of the year. Now, I will just do a bit of explaining. This can either be a player,
Yeah.
this can either be the manager,
Or it could be somebody you
or it can
know
be
just saying
anybody,
a
any
random
fan, anything that you've seen on Twitter, social media, anything like that related to Southampton Football Club.
I've got two.
You can't have two. You've got
Well, let me have one. I'll have his second one, whatever he's going to say.
Okay. Right, can I have from a fan and can I have from a player?
Go on.
Okay. I'll go from a fan. That makes it 3 points from Huddersfield, Swansea, Watford, Newcastle, Burnley and Leicester at home. In total, worrying.
Okay. What was your player one?
Okay. And the second one is James Ward-Prowse. We're going to get Europa League football this season.
No,
If
he
we
didn't-
don't... If
He
we
didn't say
don't...
we were going to get it, was it? He said that was what the basis of
That's what the aim was.
That was his aim, and if we don't get it, it's not a very successful season.
Okay, fair enough. Any more? It's a
Jeff,
bit more of a
could you
difficult
think
one,
of anything or not?
Yeah, I think I was going to say going joint top of the under the Halo prediction scoreline, unfortunately. My point of view as a fan.
Okay, fair enough.
Happy about
Fair
that.
enough.
Right. This isn't in direct relation to Saints, but I'm going to have a dig at one of the panellists here. I'm afraid, Jeff, when you said Bournemouth were an unattractive club, I nearly fell out to my chair with that one. They're building a new ground. They play brilliant football. I take it you saw their game against Liverpool last season. They're far more exciting to watch than Saints, so I just couldn't believe it when I heard that one.
I've got to agree with
Yeah,
you.
but against us, they were bolts.
Yeah,
That
That was in preview time.
That was the preview, so it was the previous podcast before you went at the review of the match.
Controversial.
He said
Have you thought of one yet?
No,
No?
no. The only thing I can think of is I remember when Pellegrino was appointed, I didn't know much about him, you know, like a lot of Saints fans, I think. And I remember reading, he was saying, you know, I like to play attacking football, getting people behind the ball into the box and what have you. And I remember thinking at the time, I like what I'm reading about this guy. And now I think,
I fell in the trap.
what, you know, was it just paper talk? Did I actually imagine reading that, or what? I just don't know. But yeah, that quote sticks in my mind from him because it's just not happening.
Okay, so mine is from my neighbour, Dalladalla. We're sat at half time, and it was Burnley game, and it was 0-0. And I turned round and said to him, I said, do you think Saints are going to score today? And he said to me, I think there's more chance of the Titanic rising, righting itself and continuing on its maiden voyage to New York. And that to me sums up the season we're having, ladies and gentlemen.
I think my favourite quote that really made me laugh, I'm going to pick on Kevin here, is following the review of the Brighton game, when he thinks that Fraser Forster could have saved the goal with his head.
He could have.
Did he actually say with his head?
He could have saved that with his head.
There is record of him
I
saying
don't think
it.
he could have saved it with
He
his
could have
head.
saved it with his head.
He's even saying it now.
He could have done.
Kevin, you said.
I'm going to get a picture of and prove it. He could have saved it with
You
his
said
head.
that the deflected shot going into the top corner could have been saved by Fraser Forster's head.
He could have saved it. I'm putting it down.
That's even better. I thought I'd come up with a quote. That's even better.
I'm not even saying how. You actually specified a way for him to actually try and save it.
I'm going to get a picture.
I know
of
he did a diving header to prevent an attack to death. But I'm sorry. Sorry to pick on you, Kevin. But
Right, here's the Brighton thing.
Yeah.
That's where his head is. That's where the ball is.
You, Jeff, by the way.
Alright, I'm going to post this picture around. Okay,
we'll post this online later.
This is the Brighton thing. That's his head. The ball's there. That's his head.
We're in the middle of a podcast, oi.
He should have saved it.
We'll post it for everyone at home.
I'm standing by that. He could have saved it with his head.
That's my quote of the year. Sorry, Kevin. Okay, so nobody wins that. Different ones.
Yeah.
I still think Kevin should win it.
Anyway.
Well, at least we can present it to him.
Yeah,
he's the only one here.
He's here.
If he was 6'7", he might have had a quarter of his head.
There you go. If I ever see Fraser, I'm going to tell him that. But anyway.
I still think the best one was the fact that he was at Huddersfield and 0-0, and yet on the last podcast he said we lost to Huddersfield, and he was at the game.
Yeah.
He was at the game.
Okay, moving on. So we're now going to do the previews of the next 4 games. So this is even more of the actual Christmas fixtures, I should say.
Okay.
Even more December fixtures is what I was trying to say. So we've got Tottenham away, Man United away, Crystal Palace on the 2nd of January, and we've included the Fulham away FA Cup tie as well. So we'll start with the Spurs game, and I'm going to go for Jeff first. Right, that's Jeff's review, or Jeff's preview.
I'd love to say something positive about that game, but I just don't think it's going to be much of a Christmas present for us Saints fans, really. I think we're going to get up at like 4:30 in the morning, get ready, get to the game, and I think it's just going to be an afternoon from hell. Really, I think we're going to get thrashed. I just can't see us getting a result. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, how many are we going to lose, boy?
Jeff, don't sit on the fence, mate. Say what you mean.
I just don't see us getting anything there. I don't know if we're going to lose 3-0, 4-0, 2-0. I just think we're going to lose.
But you do think we're not going to score either?
No.
Okay.
Sorry to be negative.
That's a good
really
reason.
sorry.
Good reason. Hugh?
Well, Toby Alderweireld is still out, so if we do go at them, there is every chance of us scoring. But the worrying news I found out during the week is the return of Victor Wanyama, and that on its own, I think we're going to be absolutely destroyed in the middle of the field. So no optimism at all there, I'm afraid. But it is brilliant to see Saints play at Wembley again.
So that's your solace for a Boxing Day away game, yeah?
It could be the last time in a long time.
Make the most of it.
Fair enough. Kevin?
Well, I believe in Christmas miracles, so.
But do you believe in Father Christmas?
I think Spurs at Wembley, they're not as great as away from home, so we might have a chance. But I think we've got to do what we did against Chelsea. But actually, the only disappointing thing is, look, today's game, Charlie Austin got stretchered off, so we could be out without Charlie Austin in that match. So it's going to be.
To be fair, the one thing we didn't mention was his
He's suspended.
apparent stamp on Russell. So he'd probably be interested to see if he would get a ban.
Yeah,
respectively.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
So I think without him in the team, we're likely to play Gabardini. So it's going to be exactly the same formation as we played against Chelsea. It's just whether we can actually whether we can get the actual service to him. He does these amazing runs, but we just got to find him. Just get a decent pass to him, and he will score. That's all I request. That's all I want.
Fair enough. Go into where
I don't know why you're asking me, because I'm bottom of the table. I don't think I've got one prediction right yet.
We're not doing predictions. This is the previews.
Oh, the previews. Well, yeah, I'm in agreement. The thing is, we support Saints. We know they can play crap one day and then go out there and beat the best the next day. But having said that, I agree with Jeff. I think it's going to be 2 or 3-0.
Carnage.
Yeah.
Come on, there's got to be a little.
I'm gonna be slightly more optimistic. I will purely on the basis of we're at Wembley, right? And as a professional footballer, if you can't raise your game for a Wembley fixture, whether it's Tottenham or whoever, I think there's something wrong with you. I mean, there's lesser teams. Let's be honest, Tottenham's home form isn't spectacular, right? This season. There's lesser teams in the league that have gone there and got something out of the game. So that's what I'm clinging to. Dele Alli, where's he been this season? He's not the same player he was.
He's got 2 assists today, by the way.
Alright, okay. But, I mean, alright, up until today he wasn't, he was not playing, well compared to last season, let's be honest. I'm looking for cheeks of light. The thing that worries me is what Hugh said, because Victor Wanyama coming back, didn't even know he was going to be back for the Boxing Day game. When he takes to the pitch, Saints are going to wonder what's hit them physically. And, so I'm just hoping that because it's Wembley we're going to raise our game, and that's it. That's the hope I'm clinging to for that preview.
Watching Stoke crumble there was worrying signs there.
I know.
Well, that'll be a tussle though, won't it? Romeo v Wanyama.
Or Lamina versus. It'd be Lamina versus.
Yeah.
Where's he been this season, Romeo?
I'm gonna. To the side of Mark, actually, we do seem to play better against the bigger teams, whether we get the results is a different question.
There's another 12 o'clock kick-off as well, which is...
Huddersfield.
It's half 12 then. It's
Not that it makes that much difference, but it's 12:30.
Apart from the Liverpool game, I think we've put in relatively decent performances against the bigger sides. As we said, perhaps it's a shop window performance. But it's going to be a tough game, no matter how you look at it. It's going to be a tough game. Spurs, you've got quality players. It's a bit of a sorry sight seeing one of our ex-managers doing quite well with another team. But yeah, I think we could put in a performance and we might get a bit fortunate and get something out of it.
Fingers crossed.
Then again, we might not. We'll see.
If I tell you what, if we get 3 points there, I'll convert to Christianity. Tell you.
Alright, no religion on this show.
I'm an atheist, by the way.
Moving on. We'll go to United. Okay.
Oh, I don't know where to start with that. United typically don't. They don't lose at home. They've got a very good home record. So I'm thinking to myself, I can't see us getting much out of the game. But then, like, even if we do get through, it's trying to beat De Gea, and that's always hard as one as well. I think we're probably onto a hide in that game, but that's my pick. I don't know.
We said that about the Chelsea game though. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get a hiding against United away. I think it'll be a very difficult game. I'm not expecting it for us to get anything from the game, but I'm expecting a low scoring game. I think if we can like go there and be a bit defensive, try and keep it tight, perhaps like we did against Chelsea, that's our best chance of getting something, if anything, from the game.
Man City.
Or against Man City. But on that, I don't think we'll get anything. I'm expecting to lose, but I don't think we'll get a hiding. And hiding's the wrong word. Sort of narrow defeat, I think, would probably be the realistic outcome.
2 words: Romelu Lukaku. He seems to score against us every time he plays against us.
He does.
Well, I'm assuming Van Dijk's going to be absent from that, so aerially we're going to be absolutely destroyed by the man. So we're going to get
whether he can be
thrashing,
well,
I'm afraid.
But he's not looked too bothered lately, is he?
Again, they've had a lot of tough games lately. Against the little guys, he does often beat them up, though, to be fair. And and at St Mary's, he tore us apart as well, so I just can't look past him, I'm afraid.
Fair enough. Is he your fantasy prediction? Or fantasy player prediction for that game?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Put him as captain is what you're saying, isn't it, for fantasy football?
Even if he doesn't play, Ibrahimovic is going to play, who is even more threatening in the air. So, particularly with how small Yoshida is, I am concerned on that front.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, to be fair. Mike?
Hopefully we'll set up the way we did against City. And hopefully we'll be able to get something out of the game. I'm not overly hopeful. I can't believe that Mkhitaryan can't get a the United team. I'm thinking to myself, he'd walk in anywhere else.
We'll have it.
But having said that, no, it's I just think it's a wing and a prayer, I'm afraid. I want to be much more positive, but I can't find the energy. I'm just sat here thinking, United, Tottenham, where is it? Where are we going to get something? But anyway, no, I think Mourinho will do a job on us. I think it'll probably be a close affair. 1-0, he'd be happy with 1-0. You know, our fans would probably be happy 1-0. Nor defeat another nail in the coffin. But hey, we crack on. We're not doing much marching.
Have you said yours?
I think we could do well out there, actually. I can see us coming away with a point at Man U.
I really can't see it. I can't see it. And plus, are you bottom of the
Yeah.
Predictions
Yeah.
corner.
Even-
So I wouldn't even go
But
against
the only way is that.
Even that look was resigned there, whatever you said, I can see us getting the point.
Fair enough.
You heard it here first.
Good man. Good. I hope you're right, because we're all up there. We're
Yeah.
all up there, so I hope you're
Yeah,
right.
I'll be there. Yeah,
I'll
I'll
be
be
there.
there.
So the only home game of this period is the next one up against Crystal Palace. I'll go for Mark first.
Why did you have to start with me? We're going to lose this.
Why not?
Okay.
We're going to lose it because Wilfred Sahar seems to have found form again. Kabai's playing well. Loftus-Cheek seems to be running their midfield. And I'm sat there and I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I look at our players and I think, I've just named 3 standout players there that seem to have found their mojo again, right? But I mean, Loftus-Cheek never lost his mojo because he was playing well when they were playing poorly anyway, personally. But the other thing is, I sit here and I think to myself, can I name 3 Saints players that would combat just saying those 3 names? And I can't come up with. I mean, Charlie Austin, if he's there, if he's fit, yes. But I sit there and look at our team and I'm thinking,
A lot of exhaling has happened in the previous. We're not very happy, are we?
No, not really.
No. We'll go to Kevin next.
For me, I thought Huddersfield was a 6-pointer, and now this is like a 9-pointer match. This is the
are we going to
game.
win, Kevin?
The games that we've got coming up, this is a game I'm looking at and thinking we've got to do something in this game because we've got Tottenham, Spurs, then Palace, then we've got Watford away, which we never get anything from Watford away. Then we've got Tottenham at home as well. So out of all of those 5 fixtures, Crystal Palace is the game that, as a Saints fan, we've got to get behind the team. We've got to make atmosphere in the stadium and just try and get something from that game somehow.
Can I just say one thing? I think you're wrong in your judgment of Watford. We actually beat Watford at Watford last season.
Yeah.
They lost again today. That's at least 4 defeats on the
Yeah,
spin.
which
We've got every
I
chance.
think you could be slightly more
Okay.
optimistic there.
Apart from that 4-2, after that, I can't think of like a game where we've actually turned up at Watford and
Apart from the
The
3-0 win
season,
in the
the season in the
championship.
championship,
Wow.
which is the last time probably we played them. But
still-
don't worry about it.
I think we still got. I think they're a bogey team.
Well, we have lost 5-2 there in the League Cup game.
Okay.
But
We lost. Did we lose against Watford
We
at
also
home?
lost 7-0
this season.
in the League Cup.
yes, we did 2-0.
So, that's
2-0
my
we
point.
lost at home. 2-0.
We don't. We tend to not play that
And
great
we've
against
got
Watford.
played off the park, to be truthful.
Welcome to Under the Hornets podcast.
Sorry.
It's alright. Carry on, so we'll go to Hugh this time.
I'm actually optimistic for this one. Palace have got some awful players, in particular the 2 goalkeepers, Baroni, awful, and Wayne Hennessy, awful as well. If we rain the shot, I know it's a big if, but if we get some shots on goal, they're going to go in. And at the back, they've been awful as well. Joel Ward, he's really declined in the last couple of years. I'm expecting Boufal to start, and I'm expecting Boufal to tear him apart.
He declined when his career started. Joe Ward, to be fair.
Yeah,
Controversial.
Scott Dunn, he's really declined as well. And I'm expecting it to be a goal fest for a change.
Goal fest for a change.
Yeah, I'm quite optimistic about that one.
Thanks for that, Hugh. You give me a boost there. I have to admit, yeah, boost me up.
It's the only game that I'm quite optimistic. I don't know why.
We'll go to the more Dave.
Well, I don't think we'll lose the game. I can see us drawing. It all depends whether our Alston is fit, because at the moment he's the only guy that's scoring for us. If he's fit, yeah, and he plays, yeah, I think we could win that game. But I certainly don't think we'll lose it.
Jeff.
I agree with everything that Mark was saying. I don't see us winning that game at all. I think Palace have come right back into form. They're a different team to what they were, earlier in the season. I think we've struggled at home against Palace in previous seasons as well.
Beat them last season 3-2. It was my birthday.
Well,
True.
previous
Evening match.
well, quite a few
Good.
times recently.
Couldn't have a drink
struggled
on my
against
birthday.
a lot. I can't see us getting anything home to Palace.
Again, I'm with Kevin on this. This is definitely the biggest game out of the games that we've got coming up, which doesn't
mean anything.
No,
Doesn't mean
everyone's being quite negative about it, and that's.
I think they're all big from now on, right till the end of the season.
Every single game. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I'm honestly not sure about the game. We haven't been doing well at home. As we've said, Palace are very much improved. I am worried about their danger players. I must admit I'm not overly optimistic with it either. I have to admit. I'll still be there shouting out the crowd and doing my bit as a supporter, but
of course.
I must admit I'm not.
Oh man,
Again, with Charlie Austin.
I was expecting you to be way more up. At least they're going to give me a bit of a lift.
I tried to be positive about our home games, and then when I said that, we lost 4-1. So.
I did that. I was guilty of that as well.
I think again, it's a massive blow. I think Pellegrino said after today's game, the Huddersfield game, that it was a hamstring injury. So looking for a few weeks out apparently. That's the initial assessment.
We need to buy then in January. We need to buy a striker.
Why did we leave ourselves so short? Why said Sam Gallagher out?
Well, it might be that we would call somebody back. You never know.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before.
Or feeling that you bring someone, Sam still. But we even said about it in the summer. In the summer we said about that. Though it just seemed ridiculous. You're saying, oh, they've got a future here, and then the next thing, because everybody thought he meant like he had a future in the squad. I'm not saying straight into the first team, but it's nonsense.
And then I don't know if it's a welcome distraction, but distraction of the FA Cup.
Yeah,
Away at Fulham.
I'm hoping it is. Yeah.
I'll go for Jeff first.
Yeah, I think that's a tough draw, to be honest. A decent enough Championship side away from home. I think Saints have a habit, just like a lot of other teams do, of making a few changes when it comes to a cup game. And I think the same thing will happen. I think there'll be 4 or 5 changes for various reasons, like he wants to give other people a chance or keep people fresh for another game. And I just don't think you can do that when you're playing away from home against like I said, a decent Championship side like Fulham. They're being at home. They'll most teams fancy a cup run. I'm not expecting anything from that at all, to be honest.
I'll go for you next.
It's just going to be a game like Norwich last season. I'm expecting a very low crowd. They'll probably have the Hammersmith End Road shut. Their manager's under a lot of pressure. I reckon he's going to sacrifice the game purely because he has to really pull his finger out in the league. I'm also expecting Pellegrino to make changes as well, unfortunately, because again he's under a lot of pressure in the league. I'm expecting 11 amateurs on the pitch pretty much, so God knows what could happen in that game.
So you suggesting you're going to get a call up then, Hugh? If he's putting 11 amateurs on the pitch?
We're going because it's a good day out, not because we're going to see quality football.
Good stuff. Okay,
I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it all depends who's in charge of us. If Pellegrino's still in charge, then I can see us getting knocked out of the cup quite easily. If we've got a new appointment by that time, I'm thinking they might take it a bit more serious, and I think we can actually go on a little cup run hopefully. But for me, if Pellegrino's there, we're gonna get high. We're gonna lose. If he's not there, then I think we could win it. So I'm undecided on that game.
Okay. Right, Dave?
Yeah, I'm optimistic. I think we're going to have a good cup run this season. So yeah, I'm going for the win.
What round are we getting to, Dave? What round are we going to get to?
Well, good cup run. Round 4 at
So it
least.
depends who you get.
Round 4 at least.
Round 4
at least.
Winning one game. Alright. Mike?
I'm going to say it's got draw written all over it. Now, you'd say I'm being a fence sitter here, but I think it actually has got draw written all over. I probably wouldn't have said. Well, I would have said we would win the game if it was home game. They got some good players. I mean, I know Hugh's going to disagree with this, but they got one of my fellow countrymen, Oliver Norwood, who's, works hard in the midfield. You got Ryan Sessegnon, who's, every big club seems to be modern in his position.
And you think they're
I
both
think
going to
he's
play?
a left back. I mean, I'm just saying it's a by the by. I mean, who knows who's going to play? It's like our team. We could end up having 11 changes. You know what I mean? Who knows? But I do think it's a good draw written all over it. So that's me being wildly optimistic. Because I don't think we're going to win it. I don't think they're going to win it. I think it's a draw written all over it. I don't think we'll take them back to St Mary's and beat them.
This is the disadvantage of going last as presenting, because I think exactly the same as mine.
Brilliant.
I think with the changes and the disruption to, not with
We don't know if Pellegrino's still going to be here. You have to
I
say
think
that.
it's got a draw written away. But, as for the fact that it's at Fulham, I was excited by the fact that it's a good, as Hugh said, good day out. I enjoy going to Fulham.
It is a cracking day.
Hopefully we take a few fans, because it's quite local for an away game as well.
We've got over 4,000 tickets, by the way.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how good the crowd is. Hopefully the crowd will be relatively good. And it'll be a good day out. But as for the game, I fully agree with you there, Mark. I think with the changes, like I say, not sure quite what situation with the manager will be.
I just remember us all, apart from Kevin, the Wolves game in the League Cup, and everybody predicted a win, resounding win, apart from Kevin. And I think he might have went for the draw. I think it was.
No, I went for a 3-1 win, unfortunately.
Did you? Yeah. Well, I know Kevin went for the loss, so he got that right.
It's a very, very pessimistic question.
Well,
But when was the last time, if we did get knocked out in the first round?
the third round?
Well, the first round, yeah.
Yeah.
That's third round. When
well,
would the last time be
can't
that we've not won a cup game in a season?
What, FA Cup?
No,
Well,
he's
in
talking
general,
about
because we obviously lost
both
the Wolves
cups,
game.
League Cup and the FA Cup. When was the last
Well,
time?
Arsenal
we
knocked us out last season, but then we got to the League Cup final.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's
So
what
when was
I'm
the
saying.
last time we didn't win one at all?
What, any?
Yeah, any
Okay.
cup games, FA Cup, League Cup in
Anybody-
a season.
Anybody who listens in knows the answer.
Can't
Okay, tough.
because the League Cup seeded, you get really easy games. So
I
it's
will
a very rare
find out
occurrence.
for you and come back to you on
Oh.
that matter.
Our record at Fulham is it's really close. We've won 26 times there. We've drawn 24 times there. We've lost 21 times there. So it's really.
All over it.
Yeah, draw written all over. That's what I take from that record alone.
Okay, well that's the previews. We'll go into.
Hang on, are you going to give us the answer?
I don't know.
Oh, right, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I thought it was a question.
That's what I'm saying. No, I don't know. I'd love to know.
I know that's what we'd all love to know.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to predictions corner. Who wants to know the league table?
No, I
Apart
don't.
from Warwick, Dave.
No, I don't want to know.
We are. Well, bear in mind this is before the Huddersfield game today, because we haven't had time to work that out.
Yeah.
So before the Huddersfield game today,
Did anybody get a draw? I know nobody went for. Kevin went for a loss to Saints, right? But I think everybody else around the room went for a win, so I don't think anybody picked up any points because nobody went for the draw.
I think you're
for
right.
a draw.
Nobody went for a draw.
We do have tied top of the table with Jeff and Mark on 13. Kevin has once again not regained his top spot.
I'm only 2 points behind. I've
on
patched
11
a point
points. On 11
behind them.
points. Myself and you are joint on 10 points, so we're not far off. A couple of results and we can be up there.
Yeah, and moving on now, what's the next topic?
You've got to be a bit more negative and you might do well.
Yeah, exactly.
Bringing a proper Nigel Atkins quote to the table. Warwick Dave is the strongest because he's holding us all up.
There you
At the
go. Well,
bottom
no, I
of
was
the
going to say
table.
that as well. Good old
5
night.
points.
Good old night.
So, let's have the predictions. I will literally go round the table, quick fire, for Tottenham, Mark.
I'm gonna go 0-0.
No. Warwick Dave.
0-3. Sorry, 3-0 to Tottenham.
There you go. I'll say 0-3 is an away win.
Yeah, okay. 3-0.
3-0 to Tottenham.
I'll go 1-1.
And you go 1-1.
Yeah.
Jeff?
I'm going to go 2-0 to Tottenham.
2-0 Tottenham. You?
1-0 Spurs.
1-0 Spurs. I can't believe it. I'm agreeing with Kevin quite a lot tonight. I'm actually thinking I'm going to go bolder, and I think we could actually get a draw in that game.
But so you got to go for a score.
Yeah, 1-0.
1-0. Okay.
Something I agree with that. I know it's a little bit contradictory to what I said earlier, but
It's good.
try to be
It's
positive.
good.
Man United away. I'll go around the other way. So
Yeah.
1-0 United.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 to United as well.
3-0 United.
0-0.
I think 1-0 as well.
1-0 to United.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1 United for that. Crystal Palace at home. I'll start in the middle. Go Kevin.
It's a must-win game. 1-0 Saints. I'm going to go for.
Always being optimistic, even here. In
We have to win it. We have to win it.
Jeff.
1-0 to Palace.
Hugh.
No, I'm Dave.
Dave, sorry.
1-0 to Saints.
Sorry, 1-0 to Saints. Hugh.
2-1 to Saints.
2-1 Saints. Mark.
2-0.
The benefit of going last, I was going to go 2-2 as well.
Makes
And
sense.
the last seat for Fulham away. We'll go back around this time. So, Mark.
1-1.
0-2.
To Sarnt.
Yeah.
2-1 Fulham.
2-1 Fulham, okay.
I want to go 2-0 Fulham.
2-0 Fulham.
0-0.
I go 1-1. We're doing
You're
well.
stalking me. You're stalking me.
I'm going to have to go first next time. get all my opinions out there. Well, that brings a wrap for this Christmas edition.
Yes. Merry Christmas, everybody.
We didn't say it at the last podcast, but have a great Christmas.
Yeah, have a great
Yeah.
Christmas.
And we'll see you all again
In
in the new year. Again, if you like what you're hearing, or if you don't like what you're hearing, get in touch.
Don't listen.
Please do share it with other Saints fans. It really means a lot when we see other people getting in touch and listening to the podcast. So thank you very much, everybody, and speak to you soon. Bye.
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 We hope you enjoyed what we had to say on this session of Under the Halo. It might be our voices on the mics, but remember, it's your voices that really count on getting this podcast out to the fans. So please recommend us to your friends and other supporters to follow our social media. If you want to get in touch, find us on Facebook and Twitter at UnderTheHalo1 or use the hashtag UTHalo. You can also email us at underthehalo1@yahoo.com. Until next time, come on you Saints!